A team of 13 scientists led by the World Health Organization has arrived in a Chinese city in Wuhan. They're tasked to investigate the origins of the COVID-19 virus as it continues to wreak havoc across the world. In a moment, live to Olivia Xiong. But first, the WHO has been speaking about what they're hoping to achieve.
Wuhan, the first epicenter of COVID-19, is where the team's much-delayed mission will begin. The researchers want to uncover how the virus made its way from animals to humans.
We know that bats, for example, are natural reservoir for coronaviruses, but we still have to see how that really happened. Was there another animal interspecies that basically helped the virus jump? And how really all unfolded.
But the WHO warns it could take some time to get answers. Researchers will spend 2 weeks in quarantine before visiting key sites of interest, like the Huanan seafood market, where the first outbreak was recorded. They will also interview people from research institutes and hospitals. There's hope that new information will help control fresh outbreaks in China and beyond.
必要，这个应该是还是有这个必要的，因为现在你看这个石家庄不也是出现新的疫情嘛，它必须要把这个疫情全部控制住，所以这个事情还是有必要的。
那么所以说他们这个点来的话也有一定的帮助，只是说来迟了嘛，来迟总比不来好嘛。对中国是最先发生这个疫情的这个情况的话。这个病情呢，就是第一地点的话，他来这个地方来找一些更多的帮助，肯定会给到他更多的帮助的。
The visit follows months of diplomatic wrangling with Beijing, which has rejected accusations of a cover-up during the early stages of the pandemic, and increasingly pushed the idea that the virus originated outside of China. For months, China has rejected calls for an independent investigation by the likes of the US, the UK and Australia.
We know that the first cases of SARS-CoV-2 have been identified in Wuhan, in China, and that is why we are going there. But obviously, we will follow the science. Wherever science brings us, we will go that way.
The WHO says the purpose of the mission is not to place blame on any one party, but to find answers that may save people in the future.
Right, now to Olivia Xiong in Beijing as promised. Now, Olivia, the WHO experts have finally arrived, but it seems like the team is not quite complete yet.
Yes, absolutely. This is the latest twist in this long-awaited investigation. So it seems that two of the scientists that are actually part of a 15-member WHO team did not make it to Wuhan. And according to the WHO, they still remain in Singapore trying to complete the necessary COVID-19 tests. Now, this comes as they had tested positive for COVID-19 antibodies in Singapore, which indicates that they may have been recently infected or that they are currently infected. This is even though the WHO says that all members of the team had tested negative when they underwent multiple tests for the virus as well as for antibodies in their home countries before traveling to Wuhan and through Singapore. So we are watching this development, and the Chinese Foreign Ministry today was asked about this, and this is what they had to say.
中方将严格遵循相关的防疫规定和要求，为世卫专家来华开展溯源国际合作提供相应支持和便利。
Now, this is not the only hiccup that has taken place with this investigation. Just last week, the head of the WHO had criticized China for not authorizing entry to the team to China, even though some of the members of this team had already been en route to the country. What's going to happen next? Well, we know that the team will have to undergo a 2-week quarantine, but the WHO says their work will begin, and these WHO experts will be in touch with their Chinese counterparts through video link. Following that, then they will be in the city conducting their field work as they try to continue to find more clues and more information that can lead us to getting a better understanding of the origins of this pandemic 1 year on since it started.
Olivia, at the same time, China has reported its first COVID-19 death in 8 months. That must have authorities concerned.
Yeah, the resurgence of the COVID-19 virus in China is certainly of concern, especially as it seemed that the country had brought the infection within its borders under control. And now we're hearing of the first COVID-19 death in 8 months here in China. Now, the victim is a lady in Hebei province. According to state media, she had pre-existing health conditions and had been classified as a severe case. But this also comes as China has reported the highest daily increase in confirmed cases in more than 10 months. We're talking about 138 new confirmed infections. The bulk of these cases are in Hebei province, and this is of concern because the province surrounds the Chinese capital, Beijing. Several cities there have been placed under lockdown, and Chinese authorities are also concerned because they say that most of the patients from this round of infection are actually middle-aged or elderly people that live in the villages. Now, another point of concern is that we are also seeing infections increasingly in the northeastern part of China, in Heilongjiang province. A handful more cases sprouting up there, and the province had declared state of emergency on Tuesday. We are also seeing sporadic cases, emerging also. We had just heard in Guangxi province too. And China has moved swiftly to try and bring this under control. Over 28 million people are said to be under home quarantine. But there is also another point of concern because this is taking place so close to the Chinese New Year holiday next month. And that is when we typically expect massive movements of people across the country as people board trains and planes to try and head home to celebrate this festival. But now we are hearing authorities in many cities telling people to not travel unless absolutely necessary.